Also, hubris leading to our downfall? I doubt that. Also, Beneath the Planet of the Alsos, reducing 3 movies into 6 sentences. Why did I spend all those hours watching amazing movies when I could have just enjoyed this perfectly adequate summary? You see, franchises nowadays are cameoing so hard that this movie felt it had no choice but to start with a full minute and a half of Caesar's funeral, just to quash any expectations of him popping up. I mean, I can't think of why else we'd be watching this deleted scene from War. Oh, I do hope this naming convention takes off and spawns several more movies and eventually crossovers that culminate in the almost inconceivable magnum opus that is the beginning of the fall of the House of the Dragon, of the Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, the Lord of the Rings, of the... Thanks! Real fucking helpful. Next time, save yourself some repetitive strain injury and just say later. Opening with footage that belongs in a nature documentary is a textbook early warning sign that this movie does not need to be almost 2.5 hours long. The director told Anaya to eat an apple as smugly as possible, so we'd be certain assholery was a cross-species character trait.
Silk? Anaya
doesn't get any of Noah's special silk, so that we can be in no doubt that Suna is the fuckable chimp in this trio. Noah has apparently stabbed enough rusty metal pipes into concrete to know that this would work. Yes, I find that less believable than a world full of talking apes. Movie plays up the difficulty Noah is having with the last 3 feet between him and the egg as if it forgot about the insane jump we just witnessed. Be relieved that Noah and the egg are alive, sure, but the altitude and the integrity of the structure Apex Honnold is about to have to free solo tells me that he is still very much in danger, and that maybe your overdramatic fainting and cute smiles for the camera aren't as situationally appropriate as you think they are.
Something in trees.
By the end of the movie, it's going to feel uncharacteristically stupid that May is making all this noise in the bushes right now. Eagle Clan is enslaving birds and training them to bring back fish. Don't you think for a second that I don't see you planting seeds for dawn of the planet of the Accipitroformes?
Your father will want to see.
Noah's hesitance here tells us that he has daddy issues, and oh boy, am I glad that's a trait the apes have picked up. This bird is a dick.
You climb well above
top nest.
I will continue to call out the climb well lies as they happen. You did not climb above the top nest. You barely scrambled to be level with the top nest and fell on your ass as a result. Also, if this top nest is so important that everyone knows about it and the subtitles deemed it worthy of capital letters, then why were the 3 ape migos so bummed out when the first nest only had 3 eggs? Why wasn't the plan always to hit multiple nests?
You did not go to the valley beyond.
That is forbidden.
Yet, blood of echo on your blanket.
Despite knowing how bad it looks, Noah just presented this blanket to his judgmental father with no preemptive explanation. This is probably why your dad doesn't like you, Noah.
Echoes only bring trouble.
That's reverberationist.
You climbed top nest.
This ape is painted blue so that we'll remember to be sad when he turns up dead 6 minutes and 40 seconds from now. Here's a sin for May, pushing Noah exactly in the egg pouch, and here's a bonus sin for Noah not keeping that egg somewhere safer. And if part of the bonding ritual is to keep the egg with you at all times, then he should sit his ass at home for the evening and wait until sunrise. Don't start doing unimportant odd jobs around the camp.
I must find another.
I mean, it's not really about finding another egg, is it? You know exactly where 3 more eggs are. It's just about getting there, Mr. Top Nest Von Climswell. You assholes are gonna let him go alone? You assholes! Oda's massive internal bleeding kindly holds off just long enough to let him impart his dying words to Noah.
The ape's horse! They cannot be 4.
Wait, doesn't the presence of a horse mean the opposite? If he came on foot, then I'd understand assuming his camp was near, but this horse means he could have been riding for days, right? Noah wanders into this mess with no plan to fight or protect himself and ends up surviving for no reason other than he is the main character. Also, I'm kind of bummed that this movie is essentially about apes fighting apes. I know the gradual bastardization of Caesar's message is the real foundation of the movie, but I'm far more interested in seeing the apes build a kingdom than seeing them fight over one. If I want to see primates battle each other for land using spears, horses, and a version of English I don't fully understand, I'll watch Game of Thrones again.
They broke my egg!
Oh no, not your egg! I mean, I was initially perturbed about our entire fucking village burning down, but now I'm really pissed.
For Caesar!
Hey, I know that name. Just shut up and enjoy the movie. But that name is important, and I must know why he said it. Honey, shut the fuck up. This is exactly how we got kicked out of Batman v Superman.
Take them to Proximus!
Guys, I love this part. It's the bit where Proximus Primal runs out of the forest and screams, "Hey, Bobots, roll out!" And then everyone looks at each other really confused because they're apes and haven't mastered the wheel yet. Noah survives this, and, not only survives this, but gets off with just a few scratches and a limp that's quickly forgotten. Shit, I think that dickhead bird did more damage than this fall. I'd be a stupid human if I didn't recognize all the effort that goes into making these movies, and the impressive tech that allows the actors to give such expressive performances. Take your sin back, you damn dirty ape movie. There comes a time in every teen ape's life when he just has to jump on that horse and enter that hole at full speed. I'm getting the right metaphor here, yes? Post-apocalyptic city is reclaimed by nature porn cliché.
Mother.
Noah finds a convenient breadcrumb trail of emotional turmoil that happens to be an item of clothing he not only recognizes, but actually belongs to his mother. I ask you, would this have had the same impact if he'd stumbled upon Carl's jockstrap? Look at what you've done now, Noah. You've gone and pissed off the weather with all your emotional baggage. Is it really necessary for May to always be moving through the trees like an apparition? Does she want Noah's help, or does she want him to believe in ghosts? Rumor has it the movie saved $1 million by using the present-day Oakland Coliseum for this shot, since zero CG work was needed to make it look like a nature-reclaimed ruin. The ground gives way under Noah as if the foundations of everything he knows are slowly crumbling beneath him. Now, if only the frequent symbolism could give way to some plot movement. Also, that is at least 3 times in less than 40 minutes that we have seen Noah fall down from a high place and be saved by some bullshit instead of dying. I'm not saying movies have to be beholden to a quota for this sort of thing, but would it be a disaster if they were? Also, this looks like an abandoned mall or something, so this fire should be smoking the fuck out of the joint. No one should be able to see shit, and Raka should have all the lung disease.
How young you are.
What a creepy fucking way to say hello.
He was my village.
Holy shit, you're burning a dead body in there too? So now you have lung diseases and the smell of burning flesh. This fire might be the biggest sin of the franchise. And this shit sent Mark Wahlberg to the future.
I am Raka.
Discount Maurice, pronounced Discount Maurice strangely.
Perhaps here humans were cared for.
At the airport? Barely.
Echo.
Human.
It's kind of crazy that Eagle Clan decided to call the surviving humans echoes, since that's such a perfectly apt description for what they have become, even though Eagle Clan shouldn't have a clue what they once were.
Perhaps Caesar bids me travel.
Man, I wish I had a figurehead that I could just invoke whenever I want to do something. Maybe Caesar wants me to add extra bacon to my cheeseburger. I think it's Caesar's will that I play golf this weekend. I can basically justify whatever the fuck I want because Jesus says it's okay. Caesar. Caesar says it's okay. Phew. Close call.
Work continues.
This is rapidly becoming the I have spoken of the movie because Disney just can't help itself with this shit.
I have no time for...
I'm sorry, Noah, but you not having time for this won't stop the movie from taking time for this, and there is nothing you or I can do about it. Oh, wait, I can add a sin.
I will not slow you down. I, too, keep a horse.
Holy shit. Should this poor horse be riding him?
We named them all Nova. I do not know why.
The logic used to justify shoehorning a Nova into War for the Planet of the Apes somehow makes it into the movie. I've been to a few telescopes in my time, and there is approximately 0.0000001% chance that this thing is in focus. Noah shouldn't be able to see anything that is worthy of this reaction unless he's particularly impressed by a dark blue blur.
She is slow.
And yet she doesn't appear to have had an issue keeping up with you since you left camp.
You only have 2 appendages to save your life, but if you were able to use both of your hands and both of your feet, that's 4 times the safety.
No, that would be double the safety, not 4 times the safety. Listen, the smart monkeys either know basic math or they don't.
What is that?
I mean, it's a horse, right? They have different colored horses here, so why couldn't this just be a horse with stripes? It's not like they bumped into a fucking kangaroo.
Horses with stripes.
See? Why is that so weird?
Follow Caesar's word.
Damn it, why do these dramatic moments always call for the breaking of necklaces? Would it have been so hard just to take it off over your head? Now you've just burdened Noah with another thing to repair.
To remember who he was. It is important.
It's only important because we need a justification for the other movies. I'm pretty certain you can be a moral person without knowing who Jesus was. I mean, Caesar. Yikes. Another close call. Glad I'm getting away with these. I have to say I'm not all that impressed with Noah's tracking abilities. He definitely followed the bad apes' tracks to get them this far, but shouldn't he also have seen signs of them stopping around here to set up this ambush? Aragorn mapped out an entire battle for crying out loud. Mighty Joe Young, University of Tennessee, Chattanooga. Wow, this is so much like the Caesar yells no moment in Rise that I now have to believe this is the only reason they called the chief ape protagonist Noah. Apparently 50% of the movie's budget went on hiring Tom Cruise to train this gorilla to authentically run like a gorilla. The inch-perfect placement of this log allowed this unplanned moment to reach maximum cinematography. The great thing about javelins, long swords, and other lengthy weapons is the extra range they provide. So it's an interesting choice for this ape to get as close as possible and negate his ability to prod and zap from afar.
This should give us time.
It will not. And can you guess why? It's because the bad apes already know where you're f***ing heading, genius.
some intelligence, to be sure.
I have a name.
This reveal is kind of fun the first time around, but I'm almost certain it'll end up aging poorly. The movie holds on to this twist for a full hour, and the price is that May is a needlessly silent mystery for almost half the runtime. She's proof that there are still intelligent humans out there, and instead of digging into that and her mission, we get discount Jane of the Jungle.
I know where they're taking your clan.
I assumed you needed Noah's tracking abilities, but if you already know where the bad apes are headed, why the f*** have you been wasting time with Noah and Raka?
The mother taught me silence for my safety.
You were safe with us.
You chased her off multiple times, called her a pest, and would barely give her your mother's blanket, asshole. Movie accidentally represents how I believe electrical items work. Electrical thing works. Electrical thing stops working. Fiddling happens. Magic returns in the form of electricity. Pop-Tarts. Everything about this bridge says nope, and yet not a single nope is heeded. I don't mean to harp on about the tracking, but it's a pretty fundamental part of the first 4 hours of this movie. Noah must be following the tracks that were made when his clan was taken. But how did Silva get ahead of him? And if this is the only way to the settlement, why didn't Noah spot the fresher tracks and realize this was an ambush? The movie also needs Noah to be an excellent tracker so he can catch up with Silva and the gang, but also needs him to be a shitty tracker so that Silva and crew can keep getting ahead of him unnoticed. Raka clearly isn't reaching for May. He's attempting to pull up the netting, which makes May's decision to reach out her hand instead of climbing up the netting cinematic, but futile.
Together. Strong.
Oh, fuck you, movie. What did Raka do to you? What a waste of a genuinely fun and interesting character. First of all, I don't see how this is going to motivate Noah any more than seeing his village and father burned to the ground already has. Or were you just worried Raka was going to be critiqued as a discount Maurice? Because I'm still doing that, assholes. The work continues. Apes on a boat! Apes on a boat! Take a good hard look at the ape-infected boat! How's it going, Ryan? You know, Carl, same as usual. It's a brave new world, but these rusty buckets aren't going to carry themselves.
Mother. Anaya.
The scene transition that we're about to see is a dick. Anaya and Noah's mother are still alive, but this cut totally wants us to think they're dead. The problem is, I wouldn't care if they were dead. We spent next to no time with them, and you've already killed off the one character I was invested in. No, not Ape Yoda, Caesar. The engrossing excitement of May exploring this room will not affect the story in any way whatsoever.
He's mostly interested in history. Roman history, especially.
Well, at least it isn't the fucking Nazis for a change, but the evil dude is inspired by an ancient empire cliche is still getting you a sit. With no backstory, I guess I'll just do what any sensible person would and assume Proximus came to power because apes and people alike respect a sick jump.
What a wonderful day!
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself,
What a wonderful day!
also, someone should tell Proximus that his kingdom looks more like a disheveled port.
I am Caesar!
He is not Caesar.
Why the f*** are you so sure? All you have to go on is whatever Raka told you, and for all you know, he was totally loopy. This might carry some weight if Noah's clan also followed the teachings of Caesar, but they didn't have a f***ing clue who he was until these apes showed up screaming his name.
Yes!
No, I mean, yes.
Whoever's in there is either dead or gone. We've been banging on that door for months.
He's right, but I don't know what he's basing that on. Is Trevathan really expecting whoever is in there to come out and say, howdy y'all, want some lemonade? To whoever is trying to knock down the door to their last stand bunker?
And that's why they call it a toga party.
And that's why I'm awarding an oddly specific 27 cents. See, anyone can just start with a random punchline instead of having to make up an actual joke. Yes, all of this is a joke. Shit, did you think I was being serious with this stuff? Good, because I am! Except when I'm not. This is a lot of candles, especially since I'm not convinced that they have the knowledge or means to create more, and I don't think fire exits have been rediscovered yet.
You are familiar with the concept of evolution?
Movie teases us with a future where even apes accept that evolution is a thing when we can't even get 100% of humans in 2024 to agree the world isn't flat. Also, in the OG Apes movies, the idea of evolution was offensive and was considered heresy because it suggested that humans evolved from apes and were therefore superior in some way. Now, those apes were in the far future, but even so, it's an interesting idea that could have been explored here. However, this movie is much more interested in Proximus reinventing the Second Amendment.
I will learn from what is inside that vault.
Basically, this movie is about a human trying to deny this ape an education.
I know. You are coming here to get inside my vault.
Proximus sounds a lot like my college girlfriend responding to my "you up" texts.
Did May tell you how to get inside my vault?
She told me nothing.
This is the part of the movie where you'd expect May to be taken away and interrogated, or maybe even tortured until she spills the beans on how to get in the vault. That does not happen. Instead, she's kind of just left to roam around as she pleases, which leads to her scheming with Noah.
Humans can never be trusted. They do not understand that this is our time. I must destroy their kind.
Magneto wants mutants to rule the world and tries to convince Professor X to join him, cliché.
And Proximus has no need for egos.
He might if you'd explained it to him. He loves power, and he definitely seems like the type of ape that would love to have the power of commanding birds to peck your eyes out.
But the law is wrong.
I get this is supposed to represent a shift in Noah from earlier when he was all about following the leave one egg law. The only problem is that seemed like a good law. Now he is choosing not to follow the laws of a fascist. I'm glad we can confirm that he now knows not all laws are good ones, but he was still right in both situations. Also, does the bird speak English too, or is it just finely attuned to big moments in character arcs?
You did not come for echoes, and you were not alone.
What the f does that matter? They've known each other for what I'm assuming is a few days, and he's pissed at her because she didn't tell him about some bunker filled with tech that he doesn't understand? All she said was that she would take him to where his clan was being held. What the f does he care about her motivations for being here?
The more you speak, the less I believe.
Twitter.
I was wrong not to trust you.
You were not! You think he's trustworthy now, but you had no f***ing clue that was the case when you met him. She has every right to keep the apes at arm's length. Blind trust is only commendable if you end up being right. Otherwise, it's dumb and you end up dead.
Will water destroy what is inside?
We don't see an explicit reply in the affirmative here, but based on how the movie plays out, I think we can assume May does believe that blowing the dam will destroy everything in there, or at least damage it enough so that Proximus can't use it to evolve. But this is such a huge risk. She can't know the flood will work. She can't even be certain the thing she's looking for is still in there. Everything she knows about this place is based on information that's apparently been handed down over many generations. For all she knows, the place is filled with 1,000 copies of the entire Fast franchise, re-recorded for posterity on Betamax. And she cannot risk letting that shit loose on the world.
A climb one I cannot do alone.
He can. In fact, Noah will do just fine on his own and complete the climb while also carrying May on his back.
You cannot make hard climb without Anaya.
I love that Anaya overcomes his fear and comes to help his friend. But Noah will actually complete all the heroic shit on his own for the rest of the movie.
You like her, Suna?
I'm sure he does, but I'd sooner skip.
He's just going to rebuild it.
No one in the entire kingdom other than Trevathan notices this group doing a shit job at hiding what they are doing.
Nobody is going to blame you for what happened here.
Speaking on behalf of the families of those people Proximus killed, not to mention what looks like a few dozen very pissed off subjugated apes who also have dead relatives thanks to your zappy sticks.
Come with us.
He's gonna skin your monkey alive.
Given Trevathan's familiarity with Romans called Caesar, it's kind of wild that he turns his back on May after rejecting her offer. You can't think that he can outfight 3 apes and a person on shattered ankles, right? Well, if I didn't believe they were caught just because they have been doing all the bomb making out in the open, then I certainly don't believe that no one hears any of the struggle fight happening.
Now we climb.
So what was May's plan had she not befriended Noah or another ape? Because I honestly don't see how she's making this climb with any level of confidence on her own. Was this honestly her plan all along? Find ape, befriend ape, get piggyback from ape? Ah, yes, the token falling rock, which demonstrates how dangerous the fall would be as if we have no familiarity with the effects of gravity. Taking advantage of the Death Star's thermal exhaust port cliché. Also, how did this thing get signed off? No small tunnels to squeeze through, no locked doors. You can literally trip over these giant vents and just walk your ass into a bunker that holds the remainder of the government, all the cool weapons, nukes, Led Zeppelin vinyls, Lucky Charms, and whatever the fuck else was stored down there. Hell, I wouldn't be surprised if Ocean 17 was based on heisting this place because the first movie of the post-apocalypse could only afford to be 3 fucking minutes long. Also, Dawn of the Planet of the Also, Trevathan said they'd been working on getting into the bunker for months. So why did neither he or Proximus think to check the fucking perimeter? Why wouldn't you check around this entire thing, looking for alternate entrances? We wouldn't dare play the music, but the soundtrack builds up a lot of tension around them entering this facility, just for them to not encounter anything dangerous inside. Oh look, there's a big hole. I guess we got no choice but to drop a torch down it. Callbacks. Or, I guess, call forwards, since the first movie of the original movies hasn't happened yet, or won't happen yet, or will happen but hasn't happened in this timeline. What?
The symbols have meaning.
They sure fucking do. This symbol in particular was included so we'd know that everyone who survived was an asshole. Also, of all the possible kids' books, they picked the one about going to the zoo. And of all the possible zoo books, they picked the one with multiple pages of caged primates. It's uncanny. Imagine the course of ape history if they picked up the one about trains.
We'll have to move fast. You go to your clan, and I'll trigger the explosion.
Since Suna and Anaya have contributed very little to this raiding of the Lost Ark, I have to ask why they weren't waiting outside to notify the rest of the Eagles and trigger the explosion. How the hell did Proximus know that he needed to be standing right by the door right now with the hostages? I gather he realized something was up when his best bud Trevathan went missing, but he would have to have known about the whole plan to climb up to the vent, be waiting here like this. Movie won't admit it, but clearly there was an inside man. I'm looking at you, Anaya. Also, did opening these doors really need to be part of the plan anyway? I know they want to flood the place, but why can't they just leave the way they came and blow up or block the vents they came in instead? May seem pretty convinced that Proximus would never get through those vault doors, and that seems even less likely now that Trevathan is dead. This way, you never have to open the vault doors and risk letting them in at all, right? No! Noah, Proximus, and Silva are all in the line of fire, but somehow May weaves a bullet around all of them and Suna. This is some wanted-level shenanigans. Noah knows the plan to flood the vault, so I have to ask why he's just standing there stupefied by his impending doom instead of telling everyone to run for their lives. He decided to stop and fight the water like a f***ing ant. That was silly. No one will be seated during the wow, that's a lot of primates drowning portion of tonight's presentation.
Eagle Clan! Climb!
But f*** any of you who belong to any other clan, okay? I know most of you are also being held here against your will, but y'all can burn. Drown. These two monkey around for all the maybe we should pause and pick this fight back up when we're outside where no one will drown amounts of yes I know apes aren't monkeys sometime. I'd like to give some props for this fight not ending up in the generic fisticuffs that we usually see play out. Instead of primate punch gorilla, Noah actually uses his brain to outsmart Silva. Huzzah! However, the movie is also stealing Vesper's death from Casino Royale, so... Where the f*** did you come from? Where the f*** were you hiding? How the f*** did no one see you? And most importantly, what the f***? Oh boy, I haven't seen this much double fisting since my college days when me and my buddies got drunk and would watch Spock beat up that salt monster disguised as Dr. McCoy's ex-girlfriend. What? Where did you think I was going?
You are going to stand so that you can bend for your king.
Another villain that can't finish the job without creating an opportunity to lose. Having said that, what the f*** was Eagle's son waiting for? Why was he up there like, look, I pledge my allegiance to him, but it doesn't mean I have to like the guy. Let's watch him get f***ed up a bit, and then I'll save the day like the vindictive feathered bastard I am. Sounds a lot like the theme from Halo, but I believe it's bird murder music. Holy shit, I know laughter is the best medicine, but too soon, my dude. This would have been like Laurie's brother chasing after her in a Captain Kirk mask the week after Halloween. Or, in short, kids.
I came to say goodbye.
Did she forget the part where she tried to kill everyone he loves?
Humans will never give up. Not until you claim all things.
What the f*** is he basing that on? I mean, he's right, but all he saw was a kid's book about a zoo and the fact that May left with some doodad and a gun.
That silo was a human place. With human things and human ideas, it was not meant for apes.
What is for apes?
I was about to send a rarely spotted fourth act conflict cliche, but is this even the right conflict? Noah should be pissed that May almost drowned all of his friends and family, not that she destroyed all the tanks, guns, and children's books.
If Raka were here, he would tell us his Caesar had much to say on this.
I hope he also would tell you how much of a waste it was to kill his character off for a cheap emotional punch.
Important.
Did he forget the part where she tried to kill everyone he loves? Hey, movie, no one would judge you for ending. In fact, it's generally encouraged. Look, I don't know how satellites work, but isn't the dishy satellite-y part of the satellite thing quite important in allowing it to satellite? It's hard to be excited about this because we have no idea what their goal is. But I guess since we're here, let's find out who they're trying to call.
Yes, hello? This is Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Is this supposed to be a win? I'm not counting that as a win. You know what this means? Age of the Planet of the Apes in space.
Hail to the chief, he's the chief and he needs hailing. He is the chief, so everybody hail like crazy. Hail to...
Banana.
Help your father!
My nipple's ruined.
For Caesar!
Salad.
extra dressing.
That's a trick. How'd you do that?
So, who are you?
I'm the guy who does his job. You must be the other guy.
Hakuna Matata.
What a wonderful day!
Don't you understand? That ape cannot have what is in.
Well, heck, if you wanna play games here, I'm working with you on this thing here, but okay, I'll do a damn luck count.
He repaired one of your broken staffs, Trevathan.
In a cave! With a box of scraps!
Banana Beak is scared.
It's Mr. Banana Beak to you.
What do we do?
For a Klondike bar.
Well, I hope that's not a hostage.